and she has inferiority complex. In all of that thing that you see, that glow that you see from outside, within her, she feels very incomplete.
Okay. In all of this, I'm looking at this girl, I'm thinking, this has to be Carolyn's evil twin here. This is not Carolyn that I know. And if it is Carolyn, the only way I can explain this is probably a case of some sort of, chemical imbalance somewhere up there.
I can't be the only one that thinks that we're not going to be getting any drama in the next episode, because I just feel like that clip we saw at the end of episode 7 was taken out of context. I just feel like they're having a random conversation, or they're just talking about what had happened in general, and Caroline made that statement of, oh, we can't all bond, it's impossible and all. Just feel like it's a way of the editor and the producers to make us feel like there's going to be drama in the next episode, because casting your mind back to the last episode or the last clip we saw in 7, it feels like the ladies have been able to find a common ground, even though what they are saying in person to one another is different from what they are saying in their confessionals. So let's get right into the episode 7 of season 3 of the Real Housewives of Lagos. If you're a return subscriber, hi, welcome. I really do hope you like today's video and subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe. Abba. And in case you're just hearing my voice in my channel, hello, I really do hope you stay. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video. I am Ronke Sui. I forgot to introduce myself, but yeah, let's keep the ball rolling. I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of things to say. That's why it feels like I'm about to bite my tongue and I'm saying a lot of things. But in the episode, we saw Mariam, Dabota, and Diadem meet up at the beach and by the waterside, and they are going on this quad bike thing. And when they all arrived by the bike, Mariam, I think one of them asked how they were doing, how was last night, and how the old tension, the old backlash and confrontation at Dabota's dress up thingy. And Diadem was like, oh, she slept like a baby, about how they didn't expect the night to go like that. Diadem said she didn't expect the night to go like that. I'm like, girl, just be joking, because I don't think she really didn't expect the night to go like that, because of course you've been cold towards these people, so you wouldn't expect it to be all kumbaya, all lovey-dovey, all vibes all night long. And so whilst the ladies Mariam, Diadem, and Dabota were on the beach, we saw Carolyn and Sophia have this like yoga session. Sophia apparently knows the yoga instructor and who she's been working with for like a couple of years now. I know they had their yoga session. It looks nice, it looks really good. And after the yoga session, they spoke about the previous night, and Sophia said the way Dabota reacted the previous night made her realize that she's really under Dabota's skin, and she doesn't intend to leave there anytime soon. And they also spoke about Diadem and how they didn't like the fact that she infused herself into the situation, because if you look at it, they really didn't have any direct beef and all that. Like the last day for them to spend at the beach, Diadem's man sent her a boat to come pick her up earlier than the time for departure, so that left Dabota riding alone in her boat, and Mariam, Carolyn, and Sophia left together, like they came together. And that was pretty much it for the old Ilashe beach, Bamboo beach staycation and whatnot. We see Carolyn on her laptop, she's working, and she said she came up with the idea of inviting the girls out and let them do something really different. And it was indeed different. So she invited Laura over text saying they should go for something, and just basically extending an invite to her. And Laura didn't feel to express a shock at the fact that she got an invite from Carolyn, and she's like, okay, I wasn't expecting an invite, but I like it, I appreciate it, and she's definitely gonna be there. Of course, Sophia got an invite as well, and the ladies met at this bake house where they had to bake 3 layers of cake differently. I mean, they had their different batters, they mixed it, and they were told that they were going to use it to create like a 3-tier cake, and they really enjoyed it. Like the way they were baking, I was like, oh my god, I really feel like I should do it. I really wish I could do something like this very, very soon, because I just really like the idea. It seems very, very cool, very mature. I really like the whole ambience and the vibe and how the whole bake thing looked. So it was really cute. In fact, I didn't know when I got on my phone and started checking on Instagram where I could find places where they do things like that, where like a group of friends can come together and bake. Yeah. But yeah, it was really lovely. I liked it. And so when they were finished with beating the batter and waiting for it to bake, they sat down. Laura was like, oh, she's here for the tea. She knows some drama happened, with these women. There's always going to be drama. And Sophia and Carolyn didn't waste time to jump into the gist and talking about how, it was good that Laura wasn't in attendance, because if she had seen her room, that room was the only room downstairs, and I think they even think it was facing somebody's fence. It looks like a store. It was very small. And they talked about how, Sophia talked about how Dabota gave her a room that was facing the trash mountain, how she didn't like it, and how Diadem and Dabota attacked her. They just downloaded the old gist for Laura, basically. And Laura was like, she's surprised at Diadem because she actually liked Diadem. And the other ladies were like, yeah, they actually liked her, but like they're disappointed. It feels like she's under Diadem's shadow, Dabota's shadow, and all of those things. And whilst they were still in the middle of that conversation, Caroline took the opportunity to talk about how she feels like Dabota isn't a great host, because the last time she was at Dabota's place, because Dabota said she sprained her ankle, and and she was supposed to come to her place, but because she said she had a little accident with her ankle, that led Caroline into visiting her instead. And to her greatest shock, she arrives at Dabota's home and she meets Dabota with a full face beat, and she's shocked, like, okay, hold up, what's going on? I'm not gonna lie, even myself, when she arrived at that episode and I was seeing Dabota with a full face beat, I'm like, excuse you. But yeah, we'll get into how I think Dabota has been able to explain that situation for us, right? So she said she was quite surprised, a full face beat. And then when she enters, she sees AE, and this AE is Dabota's friend, and she doesn't like AE from here to there. She's not going to pretend to like AE. She doesn't like AE. That AE attacks her for no reason. AE asks people why they are giving her projects, why she's the one in charge of a project. If she's at a party, this particular woman would also ask people that why is she being invited, why is she there. I know it just feels like someone that is coming at her for no reason, and so she doesn't feel safe with that kind of person. So when she walked into Dabota's house and saw that he was in the kitchen, and then it made it worse that Dabota served her a platter and didn't even touch a thing, that she was like, you're not a good host, because I don't like this person. There's clearly something that is unclear between both of us, and you're serving me food from a kitchen where this AE person has been, and you're not eating from it, and you're making me to eat alone. And I asked you twice if you're going to eat, and you're like, no, you're not eating. You're all right. Like, that didn't make her feel comfortable. And judging by that, and now the whole experience at the Ilashe beach just made her solidify our opinion on the whole thing that Dabota isn't a great host. Even the ladies were shocked at this revelation. I'm talking about Sophia and Laura, and they didn't even know what to say. It just seemed like it was deeper than the Ilashe thing. Now there's another person in the mix, and there's all these allegations and this not so pleasant news about the person. So I appreciate the fact that the ladies didn't really share like an opinion, because it just seemed like there was something deeper than the eyes could see, right? In the next episode, we see Diadem getting a face beat, and all of a sudden she's like, she needs to pick this call, and it turns out to be a man, and both of them are just going, oh baby, oh babe, oh babe. I'm like, hey, what are for single people? But anyway, she goes ahead to thank him for her car. Apparently he got her a car, and I'm like, women, fear our agenda, fear these women, because in episode 1, Daddy was talking about this guy like he was some random guy that she was still getting to know, still getting to talk to. She later said she said that because everybody was claiming to be single on the table, that's why she decided to say she's single. But I'm like, I will not deny my man on the table because other women are saying they don't have a man. Like, so I'm now seeing him buy her a car. I'm like, this thing is definitely serious, or is this how talking stage is randomly gives people cars? There must be something really serious there. And she seemed to be head over heels in love with this guy. She's smiling, she's blushing, she cannot wait to talk to him. She's calling him baby, baby, baby. Oh, I'll call you later. I'll call you. I love it for her. Love is good. But yeah, I'm just like, this is our agenda. Be very, very careful of them. But yeah, away from that, in the next scene, we see Dabota visit at Aye's place, and she says Aye is a good friend and also a sister to her. She visits her. Aye was very welcoming. They exchanged pleasantries, and then she started talking about, they started chatting, and then she made mention of the Elashe beach thing that she hosted the ladies. I mean, she extended an invite to only 4 people, but by +1, Sophia got into the mix. And this thing, I don't like this whole thing of, I don't know, it stresses me out, because we all know that Sophia is not a +1 on the show. She's not like a random waka pass on this show. She's a full-fleshed out crew, cast member. Or are they trying to say that bringing Sophia into the mix was like an afterthought? Because judging by how it took a while for us to see Sophia in this season, I think it was like the 3rd season we came across Sophia, or the 4th season. So I'm just like, was it that Sophia was signed onto the contract late? I believe this thing is all scripted. I believe that the time that Sophia was introduced was very much scripted. It was planned. It was strategic. So I don't understand why these women are emphasizing on the fact that, this party was arranged by them. They extended the invite to only 4 persons. I'm like, girl, I don't know. I wish that these producers will clarify things at the end of the season or something, so we can better understand things and see how we can look at things from different perspectives. Because if Carolyn, or if Dabota is saying she indeed invited just 4 people, and the +1 is now the one coming to complain about her room and all of those things, we'll be able to understand better Dabota's plight, right? Because I wasn't aware you're coming. But then again, she had that picture on the wall. But yeah, I don't know. I just wish you would just clarify this whole +1 thing, because clearly Sophia is not a +1. And I don't want to believe she was an afterthought, right? But yeah, she talked about it, and she talked about how Sophia made it very clear that she has her own boat, and he was like, "What? Like, we can ban ourselves a boat?" But they just talked about it. But I liked that he didn't say a lot. Like, she didn't go about the whole conversation calling Sophia names or trash talking Sophia. And I like that even in the conversation, she was asking Dabota that you talk, wait till you talk, tell me the truth. As they talk this, just they tell me the truth too. I know Dabota had to own up to the fact that, okay, I said a few things here and there, but yeah, she got me my feelings, I just like that he didn't say anything to really trash Sophia's personality and all that. I really liked it. Whilst Dabota was still at Aye's place, Laurel sent her a text inviting her for lunch and apologizing that inviting her for lunch to make up for the fact that she missed out on the old beach thing, and said her son was sick and all that. Dabota read that out to us in that scene, and so Dabota was like, she's not sure, but she would think about it. And he was like, get to know her, give her a chance and all that. She's like, okay, fine, she'll see what she will do, she'll think about it. So in the next scene, we see Sophia visit her uncle, Chief Dele Momodu of the Dele Momodu brand. And she said he's a spiritual leader. He's more than an uncle to her. He's a personal person. She shares a lot with him. Anytime she has conversation with him, it feels like a recharge. And she basically called him a diary, that because she talks about a lot of people to him, like just shares her life with him basically, and they have like this very good bond. I know she settled. I'm not gonna lie, the way she walked in and the uncle was like, Sophia mama. I'm like, oh god, it looks so. I know the show is scripted. I mean, I'm sure that a camera was mounted at the corner of that office for Sophia to walk in from the other end, so it's definitely scripted. But like, I think it was his greeting that did not give as much as it should give. Do you understand? Like, clearly all these things are scripted. There are cameras there, but yeah, I just couldn't help but notice how that didn't really gel. But yeah, nothing spoiled. So yeah, they just sat down, they talked, and she talked about how she wants to open like a physical store for our brand, and she's really excited for that, to celebrate that and launch that. She's thinking of hosting the ladies to Ghana. I wonder if she will put Dabota in the toilet on this trip. But yeah, let's see. So she said she plans to take the ladies for Ghana, to Ghana. She also talked about, like she's been going through a lot. She's still going to therapy, and the whole custody thing. I think she and herself and Davido are still on the whole matter of gaining custody of their child. So she said that was really taking a toll on her. And uncle was like, oh, he's really proud of her. I mean, she's going through a lot right now, but it feels like she's handling it so well. And he has always told her that life is like a graph. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. You just need to go with the flow and get a grip of yourself. She also told them about the old bitch thing and how two ladies were so catty towards her, and they were attacking her, and they felt threatened by her. I'm like, she really, really spoke. Like, you could tell that this person is someone that she yarns with, she gists with, she discusses with. And I sort of I think I enjoyed their conversation up until the point where Chief Dele Momodu started talking about, his plans. I mean, he was talking about how he's going to turn 65 soon, and it's more of like I know Sophia was like, oh, are you going to throw a birthday party? And it's like, oh, it's even more than a party. Like, it's more of a legacy right now. I mean, the Dele Momodu brand is a really big brand. Like, if you're very knowledgeable media wise, you definitely be aware of the Daily Momodu brand and how long it's been coming, and how it has been able to sustain itself till now. He basically just shared our plans with her, and then he was talking about he wants to register his foundation. In my head, I'm like, uncle, you have done this to an interview. I mean, the way they sat down, it was starting to sound like he was in an interview, and he was just sharing his plans, and he used the opportunity to just market himself and talk about the things that he's doing and all that. I know he also applauded Sophia and gave her more grace and encouraged her, and she's like, she has always felt like the black sheep of the family, that there's a pressure on her from a family, like coming from the type of family that she is. There's like a pressure on her. Everybody's doing so well, and she's always been like the black sheep of the family. She's supposed to be the pastor's daughter, but she's here unmarried and she has a child, and she has not been doing things the right way, like the conventional way. So there's like this pressure to always show up well and represent well. And the uncle said, he has always told her that she shouldn't allow herself to be caught up in a situation that doesn't represent the family well. She should always put that at the back of her mind. And she's like, yeah. I mean, she said some things back at the ladies, but later she had to call herself back home because she's like, oh, uncle will always say this, uncle say rise above and all of this thing. So I really liked that uncle and niece relationship between them. It was really good to watch. I liked it. And she also mentioned that with regards to the Ghana trip she's going to be planning for the ladies to celebrate a physical store opening, that she would want her uncle to talk to her piece and see how they can do like some sort of collaboration. And I really liked that. Judging by how Sophia talked about, she owns a boat, you think she's someone that would just throw our wealth around. I mean, Dabota made mention to that when she's telling her friend about how Sophia was just going on about the fact that she has a boat, and she's saying, wealth is not loud, luxury is not loud, or something like that, which I agree. But at this point, it was starting to look like Dabota was really insecure about Sophia is and how she carries herself. Basically, it was starting to look like that when she talked about it in her confessionals. But like, away from that and back to Sophia and her uncle, I liked how she humbly asked her uncle for help with regards to collaborating with Airpace. I feel like her doing that in that scene, she made it clear that, okay, I don't have connect with these people, but my uncle does. And I like that she didn't try to. She could have said that thing off camera. But I don't know, I just really appreciated that humble approach that she took, right? And then again, I'm like, oh my God, money is good. And money is good, connection is powerful. Because tell me why you're planning a trip for your friends and you have connect to a very popular airline in the country, help facilitate your trip to another country via collaboration. Love it. But you guys, let anybody tell you otherwise. Money is good, connection is powerful. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I really liked that scene, like I already said. In the next scene, we see that Laura invited all the ladies out. I'm talking about all the ladies. She was very much dressed, and I'm like, excuse you, I used not just lunch. But I immediately took back my word when I saw how Caroline showed up. She showed up in this very lovely, luscious, luxurious black dress. I really loved it. And then how she had her wig to the back. The fashion in this season is giving. You guys, everybody's coming correct. Although I don't like the way Laura will wear something that she knows that is going to show her breast. She'll not be pulling it up and be trying to be careful. Like, you're supposed to be comfortable, you're supposed to be free and all the thing. But when you start holding your dress up, holding your boobs up, like, you could have avoided this. She has done it twice now or 3 times with like a very open neck dress, and then she's trying to be all careful and all that. I'm just like, save yourself all this trouble and wear something comfortable. But yeah, aside from that, the fashion this season gave, like, it's been giving so far. And their makeup, I don't know if it's the lighting, I don't know if it's the camera quality, the makeup this season, luscious. It is so sweet. Do you see that makeup that Mariam had on her face when, you know, when Caroline and Laura called her when she was in America, like that, the way she had her hair to the back and she's wearing this black dress in her confessionals, the makeup, everything was just a 10/10 minus nothing. I'm like, what? Mariam did not come to play this season. Caroline arrived and she had settled in, and she and Laura exchanged pleasantries and they had chatted a bit. She's like, oh, she misses Mariam. Well, where's Mariam? And you know, Laura was like, oh, Mariam, the troublemaker, only joke more. They're like, Caroline offered to call Mariam, but Laura was like, let me call her. So they call Mariam on video call, and they see that Mariam is in America. And Laura's like, oh, she wasn't aware that Mariam is in America. Mariam's like, oh yeah, she's there. Her husband's birthday. She's going up and down. And they're like, oh yeah, cool. And you know, Laura now told her that, oh, I'm very mad at you. That before she even had that old big thing with Dabota, with Carolyn and Sophia, she had already called Mariam that, oh, how far, no drama happened there, what's the tea? And Mariam said, oh, nothing happened, nothing that concerns you, like nothing that involves you, like nothing serious. And now she's finding out that, oh, Mariam was like, of course, now I told you nothing that involves you, and was I lying? And she's like, why didn't you tell me that they kept my room downstairs? I was facing the fence like a store. And Mariam was like, sincerely, they did not see the room. So she cannot say truthfully that the room was bad or something, but it was downstairs. Yeah. Carolyn said, oh yeah, that's true, that they actually didn't see the room. They didn't enter inside the room, but they saw it from outside. And I'm just like, women. So you people did not see the room. Like, because if you look at the room, all of them looked identical, except the size maybe and the view. They all looked identical. So she's like, I'm like, so you people did not even enter this room to actually see this room, and you're going around saying the room was terrible. They gave her a terrible room. Like, why? And you know, Laura was like, well, if she had even attended, she would have had no other choice but to stay in the room. Yeah, I'm like, okay. But yeah, you know, they talked about that, and Mariam was not like, see, people should not talk about this old room thing, the trip without a room problem. And I'm like, thank you, Mariam, because remember what I said in my episode 5 and 6, there is no way. I remember in season 1 or 2, there was an issue with room concerning, I think, between Laura and, was it Faith, Maury, and somebody. Like, they complained about room. So far, the room is not the exact location with the exact style. There's going to be a problem because everybody's trying to form bougie. I can afford that. And they will definitely throw tantrums and complain. So I was like, if Sophia did not complain about that room, Laura would have complained. So there was no way they could have avoided the old room drama. Or Carolyn saying when she was discussing with Sophia and Laura, big thing, that if she was the one that hosted ladies and, you know, one person is uncomfortable in their room, that one person didn't have a good room, that she will swap her room for the person. I'm like, okay. Now let's take a situation whereby it was Sophia and Laura that now complain about both of their rooms. Who would you have given the room to? Your room. Okay, now you want to swap your room. Who would you have given it to? Mind you, if you give it to Laura, it will look like you're giving Laura because Laura has been in the group before the other person. And if you're giving it to Sophia, it look like you're giving it to Sophia because Sophia is your friend and you've had issues with Laura in the past and you're probably not over it. So there is no way this thing would have been balanced. So this one saying, oh, I would have given my room to this person, I would have given my room to that. You ask her to give her room to somebody she's just meeting for the first time. We're not saints here. Let's try to be very sincere with ourselves when we are giving certain judgments. Did Sophia deserve to be in that room? No. They have managed the situation better, definitely. Approached it with more empathy, more sympathy. She could have, made Sophia feel better about the situation, other than making it look like it was intentional. Although we know that the swap was intentional. But if there wasn't a swap, the swap would have, I don't even know, I think I already discussed it in my previous episode. I'm not about to go into that because who we should have given that room to? I ask again. Carolyn that said if that room was given to her, she would have walked away, or Mariam that has begged beforehand, or is it Diadem that is a close friend to the host? Please. Moving on from that, I also liked, this compliment, like this aura I got between Laurel and Carolyn when they both met at, Laurel's thing. The way they were throwing compliments at each other, that very sweet and very welcoming aura between the both of them. You would not even remember that they had issues in the previous season, which I really, really liked about that. And speaking of Mariam's response to Laurel about the room situation, you can tell that Mariam is deliberately staying out of trouble. You can tell. She said it in the previous season, in the previous episode where Caroline was like, she expected Mariam to talk, and Mariam had a lot of things to complain about in her previous, when they were having the whole massage thing, and she didn't say anything to Diadem. I mean, I know that we all said, Mariam has more mouth in her confessionals, but like, you can tell that she's very deliberate about not putting herself in the mix, about not getting into the mix, getting herself involved with the lady or the drama, or taking side, or making it look like she's taking sides with the oldies or the newbies and all that. And even Laura, when she found out that Mariam did not interfere in the old drama, she was like, somebody has changed. And I think we all can attest to the fact that Mariam has really, really grown. She has really, really changed. And I hope she keeps up this streak to the end of the season. After the whole fun thing, we see our Adeola arrive. She didn't really say hi, a very warm, heartfelt. She didn't say a heartfelt hello to Caroline, and I wish she had done better with the greeting she gave Caroline, because Caroline looks like she was expecting that and she was really willing to give that back to Diadem, right? But she was very much kiki kaka with Laurel. When she settled in, Caroline goes on this long spray of speech, goes on this long speech about Diadem in her confessional, talking about how she feels like Diadem needs to own a personality, Diadem needs to stand on her own. She feels like Diadem would do so well standing on her own. Just like, was it necessary? Because now you're standing, I don't know. I didn't like that she said all she said in her confessional. Like, it wasn't necessary. It really wasn't. It wasn't necessary. But then again, let's say she was feeling the heat at the moment. She didn't like the way, Diadem greeted her. That was why she said all she said. But like, wasn't necessary. It wasn't. So after that, they are settled in. I missed you. Diadem was like, I missed you too. You could tell that she was deliberately avoiding making eye contact with Caroline, and Caroline could detect that. Afterwards, Dabota also walked in, and Dabota surprisingly looked very simple with her outfit. And she talked about how even going into that place, she wasn't feeling it, she wasn't having it, she was just gonna be there. And I'm like, that explains what you're wearing, because you're obviously not dressed to be there. You can tell that she didn't plan. It wasn't like very important outing for her to dress up to. Yeah. And Caroline did not fail to talk about her outfits in her confessionals, that she thought she was here to do some wiring in the apartment or in the restaurant. I'm like, okay, this fight, you guys. But yeah, they sat down, exchanged pleasantries. She sat close to Diadem, and she was facing both Laurel and Caroline. And then, Sophia arrives naked. She arrives in this very nice blue outfit. I mean, I'm talking about the color itself, not the outfit or the style. But she arrives, and she said, that when she walked in, she could feel Diadem and Dabota's eyes on her. At the point she felt naked. I'm like, girl, but you're naked. But yeah, they sat down, and Laura was like, she wants them to do this thing, and she said she wants the ladies to tell each other how they felt about one another, or how they're feeling about one another. I'm like, hey, Laura cannot just keep to herself. She shall want the drama. She wants a taste of it. She wants to witness it. But okay, Laura, here you have it. The floor is yours. That was how that Caroline took the mic first, opened the floor, and she's like, she has one thing for Diadem and two things for Dabota. And to Diadem, she said that she didn't like the fact that Diadem took on, Diadem was cold to them. That even though, she was surprised she did that, because she's been communicating with Diadem all through our journey down to the beach, and she didn't expect that. She expected more of, now what for now? Why did you put complaint? And I said that in my previous episode, like, it could have been, that was like a lighter way of letting them know how you were feeling, but not making a big deal out of it, or not making it feel like you were really, really chastising them for coming late and being cold to them. But like we've already said, it's not easy for everybody to get out of like a mood, especially when they keep you waiting and you don't like it. But yeah, she's like, she didn't expect that. Diadem was like, was I cold to you? She's like, yeah, you were. And I like the way Sophia was like, oh girl, you were, babes, you were. And she's like, oh, that they don't know what she was going through. I'm like, what? Now, wow, now you know what thing they go through. You are still laughing with your friend now. I mean, it was clear that it was about that issue, but yeah, maybe it wasn't about the ladies, but she was cold towards them. That's not a lie. But she's like, they didn't know what she was going through, what she was passing through before they came. So it wasn't, she could have had a frown on her face, but it wasn't towards the lady. It was towards something else. And if she's feeling some type of way, she would let them know, and which she did instantly, and told them that, oh, what they did is nonsense, she does not like it and all of those things. And I didn't hear her apologize to the ladies with how she acted. Maybe that's because she didn't feel like she did anything wrong, or she's not ready to accept the fact that she was indeed cold to the ladies. But they moved past that conversation and they went to Dabota. And Carolyn was like, this Dabota thing, it could either go south or go west, but she's gonna say it. She now mentioned the fact that she visited Dabota's house and Dabota served her a platter with the presence of someone she didn't like and refused to eat a thing from the platter. So she didn't know that something was going down between the both of you, that you will now feel triggered or feel like unsafe in her house and you're eating from her food and she's not eating from it and all those things. Like, she didn't know about it. And if you see the way Carolyn was talking to Dabota was talking to Carolyn, it was like she was almost crying. And she was softly talking to Carolyn, making her understand that it wasn't from a bad place, that she didn't even know. She even swore that she didn't know anything about it and all of those things. And she apologized that she made her feel uncomfortable. But the things Dabota was saying in her confessionals, she basically insinuated that Carolyn was going cocos upstairs. She even said that the person seated in front of her and saying all those gibberish was Carolyn's evil twin. Hey! Now it explains why they are dragging each other on social media, because these ladies say one thing in their confessionals and say the other thing in person. But she's like, she deeply apologizes, that she's apologized, she's sorry that happened, that this person that she's complaining about is also her sister, so she can understand why it's not easy for her to choose a side. I know that Carolyn was like now thinking about it and actually hearing her own opinion. She understands how or why it wasn't her fault and it was something that just happened. Like, it wasn't like she planned it or anything. Carolyn also talked about how Dabota was coming to check in on Carolyn during the Oilashe beach thing in her room, because she didn't feel okay with how things were going between her and Sophia. And I'm like, hey, are you kidding? So all of that gra put it for each other in episode 6. So there was somewhere in Dabota's mind that was feeling uncomfortable. But yeah, so when Sophia heard that, of course, I think it melted her heart a bit, or to an extent. She's like, oh, she didn't know that. I know she was like, Carolyn was like, oh, Dabota was really concerned about how things were going, and she was coming to check in on her, that she thought she even told Sophia, but maybe it was Mariam she told. In Sophia's confession, she's like, oh, okay, now that she's hearing this thing and seeing the ladies, hearing the ladies' opinion and seeing them explain their sides, she's really open to getting to know them better, and she thinks maybe they can start on like a clean slate. Oof, you guys. So that's why I'm saying that, because it feels like now they've ended in Caroline extended like her hands to the ladies, like Dabota and Diadem, and like they kind of shaked it away and just made peace with everything that happened. And Sophia is talking about how she's open to getting to know the ladies know the ladies more. And now we are seeing Caroline in the next episode saying, oh, that they can't bond, like it's impossible. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's not in reference to the lady. I feel like they're talking about something else, or just generally about things that happened in the past. Let me know what you guys think about the season so far. I can say, and I can give you for free, that the fashion this season is giving. Oh my god, I feel so exhausted. I feel like I'm rushing through this episode because I don't want it to be too long, but now we are at 35 minutes. Oh my goodness. If you're here, drop a crown emoji in the comment section. Let me know that you listened up to this point. Let me blush. I'm like, oh my god, you actually got to this point. You listened to my chatty self. But that's gonna be it for the recap of episode 7 of season 3 of the Real Housewives of Lagos. Let me know what your highlight is. Is there any lady you can't stand, and is there any lady you're like, oh yes, guys, I know Sophia has a lot of fans, but yeah, represent in the comment section. Let me know you are. Let me see what emoji are we going to use to represent Sophia? Give me a boat emoji in the comment section if you're a fan of Sophia. if you listen up until this point, drop an emoji, drop the crown emoji in the comment section. Let's keep the conversation rolling in the comment section. I love it when we chat. You don't have to agree with me. Remember your opinion politely in the comment section. I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, make sure to remain happy because you owe it to yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Bye guys.